Welcome to Audit Talk. The podcast where we turn complex assurance issue into strategic insight you can actually use. Before we jump into today's sector by sector breakdown, let's take a moment to frame the bigger picture. Audit challenges are not just industry specific. They are structural, systematic, and evolving at a pace we never seen before. When we talk about audit challenges, we are talking about digital problem, complicated system, and fast-changing rules at all happening at once. That's why today's episode matters. Each industry experiences these challenges differently. So let's hear from our panelists in manufacturing, healthcare, and financial service to understand what makes each industry audit challenge unique. Hi guys, let's meet our first guest for today, Haris Safwan.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like hey, watch that on the beat, bro. He a freak though, man.
Before we dive into the main question, can you explain to me what is audit in manufacturing is all about?
As an auditor, I can say that auditing in manufacturing is the most challenging.
These industries deal with complex material and production costs like raw material, finished goods, cost of labor, and machinery. They also work with many suppliers and must follow the strict rule for tests. All of these factors auditing more detailed and riskier than other industries.
The next question is, what makes tracking inventory and production costs so challenging in manufacturing audits?
Tracking inventory and production costs is particularly challenging in manufacturing because we have to verify multiple layers of inventory from raw materials to work in progress and finally finished product. On top of that, we must ensure that all production costs are accurately accounted for, including the materials, labor, overheads, depreciation of machinery, and even variations in supplier pricing. Any errors in these areas can affect financial statement and compliance, so it requires detailed checks to get a complete and accurate picture.
Honestly, I think that sounds super complicated. It's like trying to track a million moving parts at once and having whopping none of them mess up the whole picture. For the last question, what can you conclude about our topic session today? Can you give a final advice to manufacturers to address these audit challenges?
My advice is to focus on three things. First, centralize data using systems like enterprise resources planning. Second, standardize document across all departments. Third, track inventory and cost carefully with regular stock checks and accurate records. So doing this makes audit easier and helps the company maintain clear and accurate financial records.
Thank you, Adi, for your time and your commitment. I hope we can work together in the future and talk more about audit. I think that's all for our session. Thank you, guys.
A few moments later.
For the next session, I will introduce to you guys who is our next guest. Is it Fakrul Anda, or we call it Ko Cheng?
Tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like hey, watch that on the beat, bro. He a freak though, man.
Ko Cheng, may you briefly explain to me what is your industry all about?
Thank you. My industry is all about auditing the financial service sector of bank and investment firm is widely seen as a tough job because everything is extremely complicated, happen globally, and carries huge risks. The challenge starts with complicated math and guesswork involved in valuing complex assets which demand specialized expertise. This difficulty is multiplied by crushing loads of rules and regulations that are always changing, meaning the auditors are always running to keep up. Finally, because of this firm rely completely on the technology to handle massive amount of data, the constant threat of cyber attacks makes keeping the data accurate and secure a never-ending race.
Alright, let's we jump into the first question I will ask you about. First, what is keeping out with all the rules like A and L so hard for bank?
Okay, that is a good question. The audit challenge in compliance is like trying to follow every traffic rules in every country all at once and having those rules change every week. This is difficult due to the volume of number global rules like those against money laundering or AML and the velocity on how quickly new rules appear for things like climate change and digital assets. Seeing the consequence of breaking rules are massive fines, auditor must constantly chase these moving targets. Our specific task is to dig deep into high-risk areas like AML and finance crime, checking the bank's automated system to make sure they aren't missing complicated criminal transactions. This is an audit environment with zero room for error.
Wow, that sounds super stressful. Like the rules keep changing every minute and auditors have to catch everything perfectly or it all goes wrong.
To conclude our briefings, the job of auditing financial service is having a pivotal moment. The detective work is getting much harder because of this huge escalating risk. First, the constant pressure of the regulator means the rules never stop changing, creating a constant compliance challenge. Second, the rising threats from hackers and their sheer volumes of big data, meaning auditor must constantly upgrade their tech skills and tools like ADA to stay ahead of digital trends. Finally, the need for intense scrutiny in asset valuation means auditor must challenge the bank guess about complex assets like property. These assessment tools auditor can't be good at math. They must be fluent in law, data science, and complex finance to keep the powerful global system safe and fun.
Oh, thank you, Coach M, for your commitment and your time. I appreciate it so much. I hope we can talk more about audit in the future.
2,000 years later.
Alright guys, we have come to our big session today and I will introduce to you guys the last guest for our session today, Iman Fitri.
Hi guys, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like hey, bust that on a beat, bro. Deep, you a freak, though.
Iman, can you briefly explain to me what is auditing in healthcare industry?
Thank you for the question. So let me start by saying this. Healthcare is one of the most chaotic, complicated, and fascinating industries to audit. Why? Because in healthcare, auditors don't just check money, we're checking financials, patient safety, ethics, billings, compliance, privacy, and sometimes even the logic behind all the medical decisions. In retail, an audit mistake might mean a wrong price tag. But in healthcare, an mistake might affect someone's treatment, insurance approval, or medical costs. So yeah, the pressure is premium for us. And to make it extra fun, hospitals often use a mix of super old system plus modern tech. So your audit role is basically good luck finding the right version. In Common Meaning 2023, even described healthcare auditing as multi-dimensional and high risk, which sounds very academic, but it basically means everything can go wrong at the same time. So today I'll keep things chill and break down the key challenges without giving everyone a headache. Thank you.
Thank you, Iman, for your answer. That's such a solid breakdown. Healthcare auditing really does sound like a high-pressure mess where everywhere decision matter way beyond the numbers. Iman, we move on to the next question. The question is, what is the biggest challenge auditors face in the healthcare today?
For me, personally, the biggest challenge is definitely data and complexity. Healthcare produces so much data every day, from patient records, test results, prescriptions, insurance claim, treatment notes, and every department has its own system. The problem? Most of these systems don't talk to each other nicely. Some are old, some are new, and some are, hanging on for their life. So, when auditors try to verify something simple, like one transaction, we sometimes have to jump through multiple systems, multiple departments, and maybe even chase someone down the hallway. Plus, healthcare has super strict privacy rules. So we're not just auditing the data, we're also auditing how the data is protected. One small breach and it becomes a major problem. Al-Shamari 2022 pointed out that data fragmentation is one of the biggest barriers to audit quality, and honestly, that's spot on. That's all for the answer.
Thank you, Iman. The data struggle is real. When systems cannot talk to each other, the auditor basically become a digital detective trying to piece everything together. So, Iman, what we can conclude about our topic session today?
So to wrap up my part, healthcare auditing is honestly one of the most complex but meaningful and insightful auditing work. You're dealing with money, compliance, patient safety, ethics, and data security, all happening at the same time. It's like auditing while standing in the middle of a hospital corridor where everyone is running, machines are beeping, and data is flying around. But despite all the chaos, the purpose is clear. Good audits protect people. They protect patients from wrong billing, protect hospitals from legal issues, and protect the whole system from breakdowns. And the future actually looks promising. With better digital health records, more integrated systems, and AI tools supporting auditors, the process is slowly becoming smoother, less detective work, more accuracy. So yes, healthcare in auditing is challenging, but it's also impactful. It's one of the few industries where good auditing doesn't just improve financial statements, it improves lives. That's all from me.
Thank you, Iman, for your time and commitment today, for joining us in Audit Talk. And I think that's all from us. Let's say bye to camera. Bye. Alright, as we wrap up today, conversation on audit challenges across manufacturing, healthcare, and financial. Here is the big picture on three sectors are feeling the strain of outdated audit methods. Supply chains are getting more complex, data is getting more sensitive, and regulations are evolving faster than organization can keep up. The message is simple. The audit function needs a serious upgrade. So, where should we focus? First, organizations need to fully adapt the technology-driven auditing, automation, data analytics, and continuous monitoring give auditor real-time visibility and help catch issues before they snowball. This is the new backbone of modern assurance. Second, we need stronger cybersecurity and data governance. With so much sensitive information moving across systems, especially in healthcare and finance, protecting the integrity of audit evidence is not just technical requirement, it's a strategic necessity. And third, we must build a more digitally skilled audit workforce. Auditor who understand both business and the tax can deliver sharper insight and elevate the audit function from compliance driven to strategy driven. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and let's meet again on another episode of Audit Talk.